Short-lived Hurricane Barry warm, risk of life-threatening floods. Hurricane Barry pushed ashore along the Louisiana coast west of New Orleans on Saturday and quickly weakened to a tropical storm. But its torrential downpours still promise the risk of life-threatening inland floods in Louisiana and Mississippi, the National Weather Service said. The storm moved farther inland across the north-central Gulf Coast Saturday evening and forecasters warned of flooding across the lower Mississippi Valley, the National Hurricane Center said. Barry packed enough sustained winds -75 miles per hour, to qualify as the nation's first hurricane this season when it went ashore near Intracoastal City, Louisiana, about 150 miles west of New Orleans. Moving inland, Barry dropped to sustained winds of 60 miles per hour and was centered 55 miles northwest of Lafayette, Louisiana, as of 8 p.m. EDT, according to the NHC. A hurricane warning for the Louisiana coast was dropped to a tropical storm warning, but officials warned that heavy rains pose a risk of flooding. A storm surge warning, a risk of flooding from rising waters moving inland from the coastline, is in effect from Intracoastal City to Biloxi, Mississippi, and Lake Pontchartrain. Forecasters said Barry could unload 10 to 20 inches of rain through Sunday across a swath of Louisiana that includes New Orleans and Baton Rouge, as well as southwestern Mississippi, with pockets in Louisiana possibly getting 25 inches. NHC Director Ken Graham warned slow-moving rain cells would create especially dangerous flooding conditions in southeastern Louisiana, as well as Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi and parts of Tennessee into next week. When you put that much rain down in areas around Baton Rouge and Mississippi, those rivers and creeks are filling quickly, he said. That is just an amazing amount of moisture, he said on Facebook Live, pointing to a weather data board. That is off the chart. Even with winds below hurricane strength, the storm still puts locals at risk. Graham stressed that in the past 3 years, inland flooding has accounted for 83% of the deaths during tropical cyclones, half of those in vehicles. He warned conditions could become especially dangerous at night with heavy rains that could make driving difficult. It's really best not to be on the roads, especially if it's flooding, Graham said. Turn around and don't drown. The hurricane brings a tornado threat, too. The highest risk area is on the east side of the storm, along the Mississippi coast, and Mobile Bay, Graham said. As the storm drew closer Saturday morning, the Coast Guard said it was rescuing about a dozen people stranded by flooding on a remote Louisiana island that has been shrinking for years. Petty Officer Luxie Preston told the Associated Press some of the people were on rooftops on Isle de Jean Charles, about 45 miles south of New Orleans. He said 4 people and a cat had been removed by helicopter and a boat was heading to the area to help get the rest of the people off the island.